As had happened so often in Japanese history, success bred success, and Oda Nobunaga soon found other samurai families only too eager to ally themselves with him. This gave him the opportunity to carry out his own march on Kyoto, where he deposed the current shogun in 1568 and gave himself powers of regency. There were many challenges to his impertinence, but in battles such as Anegawa in 1570, Nobunaga defeated all his rivals, and his victory over the mighty Takeda at Nagashino in 1575 sealed his reputation as a military genius. Setting to one side the traditional samurai contempt for and mistrust of foot soldiers, Nobunaga trained his Ashigaru to fire arquebuses and controlled volleys. This broke the charge of the renowned Takeda cavalrymen, and even though the Battle of Nagashino lasted another 7 hours, a new trend had been set in samurai warfare. Back at the bar in Rio, I had no wingman to support my Lady Charming, but thanks to Leela's generosity and foresight, I did have the next best thing: cigarettes. In the quieter back section of the bar, I spotted a group of sultry young brunettes passing around a hinged, shiny cigarette case, each pulling out and lighting a white, paper-wrapped conversation starter. I opened my pack of Lucky Strike unfiltered cigarettes and threw 2 of the smokes away, masterfully creating the illusion that I had smoked 2 cigarettes recently. Then I walked straight up to a tall, olive-skinned girl with a green dress, red-orange lipstick, and smoldering eyes. I placed a cigarette in my mouth and pantomimed lighting it. I must have looked like a movie star. She smiled as she lit my cigarette for me. "Do you speak English?" I asked, sucking in warm, mind-stimulating smoke through the end of my new best friend, the unfiltered cigarette. It was my first drag ever. According to every after-school special I've ever seen, this moment was supposed to have come over a decade earlier in my life, in the stalls of my middle school lavatory. But it didn't. My first cigarette drag was glorious. The warm smoke tasted earthy and smelled of confidence. "Yes," nodded the Brazilian girl. "I speak English." Renfrey entered the marketplace. She approached slowly with a soft, feline step, avoiding the carts and stalls. The crowd in the streets and by the houses, which had been humming like a hornet's nest, grew silent. Geralt stood motionless, his sword in his lowered hand. Renfrey came to within 10 paces and stopped, close enough to see that, under her jacket, she wore a short coat of chain mail, barely covering her hips. "You've made your choice," she said slowly. "Are you sure it's the right one?" "This won't be another Tridom," Geralt said with an effort. "It wouldn't have been. Stregobor laughed in my face. He said I could butcher Blaviken and the neighboring villages, and he wouldn't leave his tower. And he won't let anyone in. Not even you. Why are you looking at me like that? Yes, I deceived you. I'll deceive anyone if I have to. Why should you be special?" "Get out of here, Renfrey." She laughed. "No, Geralt." She drew her sword, quickly and nimbly. "Renfrey?" "No, you made a choice. Now it's my turn." During the Warring States period in China, a farmer lived with his only son, with whom he depended on to help do the farm work. They had only one horse, which they loved, and which was vital to help with their farming. One day the horse ran away, and the farmer complained to the village elder that he didn't know how he was going to survive without his trusted horse. "What terrible luck this is," he exclaimed. The elder replied, "Maybe, maybe not. We will see." This angered the farmer, but he held his tongue and returned home, thinking the elder must be losing his senses. A few days later, the farmer's horse returned, leading a wild mare back to the farm. The farmer was delighted at his good luck, and exclaimed to the village elder, "My luck is changed. What a blessing this is." Again, the village elder simply replied, "Maybe, maybe not. We will see." Later that week, the farmer's son was trying to break the mare so that it could be used in the fields. Suddenly the horse bucked, throwing the son to the ground and breaking his leg. Again, the farmer complained to the village elder, "This is terrible luck. I cannot tend to the fields myself, and this is my only son. I am ruined." The wise elder again seemed unmoved and stated, "Maybe, maybe not. We will see." This time the farmer had had enough. He lost his temper and yelled at the elder, "What do you mean, maybe? My son's leg is broken. My farm will be lost. This is the worst thing that could have happened to us, and you act as if it is nothing at all." The elder remained calm and unmoved. "Don't give up hope, my friend. None of us can see the future. Everything happens as it should." 3 weeks later, the army from the farmer's province marched through the town, forcing every able-bodied young man to join the army and to march into battle. The farmer's son was not taken because of his broken leg. The other people in the village were excited that their sons would return heroes, and exclaimed to the farmer, "It is bad luck that your son could not go to war and return a hero as well." The farmer started to feel disgraced, but then recalled the lesson that the village elder had been trying to teach him, and replied, "Maybe, maybe not. We will see." 2 weeks later, word came to the village that the entire army was defeated in an epic battle. Not one of the young men from the village had survived. The farmer's son was the only boy of age from the village that survived this tragedy.